Hell of a pod. We met some people who were hanging out with Drizzy Drake. We talk about this 74-year-old KFC worker, and I also put my foot in it big time. Enjoy.
Previously on Ben, Liam and Bell.
Nana, you have won Best Nana out of Ben, myself, and Bell.
You are kidding me.
I'm not kidding, Nana. This is unfortunate, but you are the only Nana that is still alive currently.
Oh, dear.
And now, live across Australia, this is Ben, Liam and Bell.
You don't think it took the shine off when I said she was the only one alive, did you?
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Really took the wind out of her sails. I felt it, yeah.
Good evening, Australia. How good is this? It's a Tuesday night, and we're doing this one.
Have you ever touched this? Have you touched?
Drake.
I can't do this.
We always like to challenge ourselves on a Tuesday. We've had people who've touched the World Cup, you know, all sorts of things. But yeah, Drizzy is in the country. Anita McQueen. He's sort of, he's been at Nobu in Melbourne. He's been at like a pub in Perth. I saw him. He's just been getting around, you know.
The thing that surprised everyone was we knew he was coming here for his tour, but he came a week early for an Australian holiday.
He even had that like weird karaoke night as well, where he had a karaoke bar. So he has been around.
So if you have been in his presence, if you've seen him, that doesn't count. If you have touched Drake, maybe a high five, maybe a kiss. I don't know.
Ooh.
Maybe you're, lucky gal.
Oh, yeah, you can stay anonymous, of course. And, like, obviously it doesn't need to be just in the past few weeks. We'll take a few years ago.
I reckon
100%.
he was here for like a Future Music or something like in
really?
2016 or something, yeah.
And you know what? Best caller tonight is walking away with 2 tickets to go see Companion in cinemas now.
I bet you that's what you thought you were going to win.
All right, start your calls coming through. 13 24 10.
Aaron in Sydney, have you touched Drake?
I have.
Whoa.
I don't think he was technically Drake at the time because I'm from the same city that he's from.
Toronto?
But correct, yeah. And he was filming Degrassi, the show where he played Jimmy.
Yeah.
And around 2004, it was like a meet and greet type thing. Just like, hey, these are the guys from Degrassi. And I'm at the time, I'm like, hey, so what?
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, and so you're in Sydney now. Now he's back down under. I think he got shot in Degrassi, like in the show, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think Drake's like getting shot and stuff. I think that's like other rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Well, Aaron, that's pretty impressive. But I would like someone who's touched him more recently.
Yeah, like a recent touch, which we might have here. Lily joins us in Melbourne. You've touched Drake.
I did. Well, he touched me.
Whoa! That's even better. I mean, where did he?
It is better.
Where did he touch
he
you?
touched my elbow and gave us like a brief hug, but I'm going to claim it.
Yeah, I mean, a brief hug, touching the elbow.
Who wouldn't? It was Drake.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you were that intimately sort of close, like a hug, did you get to smell him? Did he smell all right?
He did, and he definitely was taller than I thought.
Oh, okay. Lily, where did this happen?
So he hired out a private bar in Melbourne. All our phones were taken off the bus, and it was a pretty intimate group of between 30 to 40, basically all females, and then his crew. So
Drizzy, you bad man.
Yeah.
He's
He
like,
knew what was
basically,
going on.
we're going to have 30 to 40 chicks, no phones, just the boys.
Pretty much.
How did you find out about the event?
They sort of find people through Instagram and management teams. So my Instagram must have been looking good.
Yeah, I mean, Lily, my God, you must have put up some pretty killer thirst traps recently. Did you sense that he was a bit annoyed that Kendrick Lamar was winning Grammys in America at the time he was at the party for basically...
I thought that was a bit of a touchy subject, so I try to avoid that for
Probably for the best you didn't bring that up.
Yeah, if you went probably eat minor around him, I think you'd get kicked out of the party.
Lily,
sure.
what did you talk to him about when you had a one-on-one chat?
I actually asked him why Melbourne, because he was doing so many fun things in Melbourne throughout the week that he was there. And he was like, Melbourne's got good energy. I like Melbourne. I like Melburnians. and like I haven't been here and I miss it.
Yeah,
So I was
right,
like,
okay.
Okay. And then he said, and Perth next. And I said, well, it's definitely not going to be as fun as Melbourne. And he
Yeah.
laughed. So,
Well, I mean, I don't know
he
how
knew what was up.
I don't know how our Perth listeners will feel about that.
I know. But no, he was actually, from what I was gathering, he was really happy to be in Melbourne. And he's really passionate about putting on a show. I mean, he came and everyone was like, oh, he's going to sing like a few little lines. You know, that's the concert. But he kept going. And everyone was like, okay. Okay.
Got to the
And he did,
point where you're
a
like,
bit of
all right.
freestyle. Yeah, I was like, okay, I've got to go home. No, he kept going. And I asked him about the journey here, and I just said, like, how many people do you usually travel with? And he basically said that Air Drake's got, you know, like 25 people that come over with him.
He called it Air Drake.
Drake.
Pretty much.
Yeah, well, he's not coming over on Tiger Airways. I mean,
Definitely
they're
not.
defunct for 4 years, so I mean that would be a rogue choice. I don't know. It's just the first one that came to mind. Does he have a sense of goofy energy around him at all? Like, I'm not the biggest Drake fan. I certainly respect what he's done in music, but you know, when he's saying like Air Drake and that sort of stuff, and he's like got a private show with girls he's
yeah,
invited
no,
from Instagram, and he's like doing a private gig, like that kind of seems weird to me.
Yeah, no, he's actually really surprising. Like, he comes across quite sort of like dry. He definitely has like a dry sense of humor, and you're like, oh my God, do I laugh now? Like, is this what Drake's trying to put down? But 100%, he's like, he's got a serious face, and that's when he's like, ha, ha, and like taps your elbow, and you're like, okay, so it's funny. So
I got the elbow
he's got a
touch.
bit of goofy, yeah. He's got a bit of goofy energy definitely about him.
Yeah, I sort of got that from the whole Anita Maxwin, which is what he
Yeah.
named his tour after.
Lily,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you so much for giving us a buzz. That was
problem.
some amazing stories to share.
Yeah, he's cool. I wasn't a fan before as much, but now I am.
Oh, good.
I'm convinced.
Good on you, Lily. See ya.
Thanks, Lily.
Thanks, bye.
Beck, you were in a lift with Drake. What happened?
My husband and I were waiting to go upstairs in the lift to the restaurant, and he was in front of me. I didn't really realise who it was, but it was pretty busy in there. And the doors open and his group got in. Some of his group walked upstairs, and he said, oh, there's room for one more. And my husband and I both kind of walked forward, and he said, oh, no, not to you, my husband.
Oh, my
Walked up
gosh.
the stairs. And I got in the lift with Drake, and I was like, literally like shoulder to shoulder to him. Like, I couldn't have been more sideways intimate with him if I tried. And he was like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, having dinner with my husband.
What a bad man. That's a new fear unlocked for me, that I could be going out for a nice dinner with my wife. You know, we have a very committed relationship, but the lift doors could open and she could get in with Drake, and that could be the end of everything.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing I find so funny about it is the fact that the doors opened, it was Drake. He said, come on in. And then he said to the husband, not you. And then you still got in.
Yeah.
Your husband let
I
you go.
totally got
And
in.
he
I was
went,
like,
okay.
"See ya, babe."
Wow. So what?
I guess I'll see you up the top then, baby.
I know that he asked what you were doing. Did you talk about anything else there, Beck?
No, I just said, he said, oh, what's your name? And I said, my name.
Yeah.
And then I said to him, oh, you're Drake. And he went, yeah. And I went, oh, and then I got out of the lift when I got to the top, and I was like, bye, Drake, like we were best mates. And then I walked over to my husband, and my husband's like, this is just weird, like you left me. And I was like, yeah, but my kids, I've got so much street cred with my kids now.
Yeah,
Totally.
but you've absolutely decimated the trust with your husband that you built up over the last 15 years. I mean, that'll be hard to come back
But
from.
you don't. You also, Beck, you don't have any proof because
I mean, surely someone can see in the cameras.
you
Yeah,
need to get
yeah.
that CCTV.
You should.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it looked like, you know, when you go on like a ride at Dreamworld, they get the photo. Like, it might look like that with you and Drake in the lift there.
It's probably me staring quite lovingly at it, so maybe we don't want to.
Oh,
I mean, you're not doing wonders for your case here if you're trying to say, it was, honestly, babe, it was nothing. It was just Drake. It does sound like you were pretty into it.
thanks, Beck.
Thanks, Beck.
W's in the chat for this pod.
There's a story going around today, Ben and Bell, of a 74-year-old woman who works at KFC. This is over in the UK. Her name's Pauline. Here she is.
I love the Zinger burgers here. Mashed potato and gravy is out of this world.
We have customers that come in every day that call her Nan or Mrs. Chicken or Mum. So yeah, everyone really comes in to see her mainly.
I love working here. I like meeting people. It's my favourite food, is chicken.
Personal friends with the Colonel.
Yeah, she just loves chicken. And look, it is cute, obviously, but it is hard work when you're actually trying to order something.
Hello, welcome to East Taunton Dean KFC. This is Pauline speaking, but you can call me Mrs. Chicken.
Right. Hello, Mrs. Chicken.
What was that?
Hello, Mrs. Chicken.
What was that?
I said hello, Mrs. Chicken.
Oh, sorry about that. Sometimes my hearing aids interfere with the speaker.
Right, yeah, I just wanted to
I'm
order...
74-year-old, me.
Okay, yeah, just a zinger?
You know, I've been working here since 1978, I have. 47 chicken-filled years of happiness. I remember on my first day, a lad fell into a great big vat of gravy. Covered he was. Lucky it weren't boiling hot, or he would have been Kentucky Fried.
Just a zinger?
What was that?
A zinger.
Oh, sorry, love. You'll have to cut me some slack, see? I've been working here since 1978, I have.
Yeah, I know.
47 years of chicken-filled happiness.
Yeah.
You see, I remember on my first day, a lad. He fell into a great big vat of gravy.
Yeah, I know. He was
covered. He was. Lucky it weren't boiling hot, or he would have been
Kentucky Fried, I know. You literally just said that. Can I just have a zinger box, please?
Okay. That'll be 14 pennies and 3 farthings.
What is that? $14.30?
Yes. Drive through to the next window, please.
Yep, right, thank you.
Thanks for shopping at KFC. Oh no, me teeth are in your chicken.
Are they false teeth?
Sorry about that, love.
Oh, God. Get away from me.
Been working here since 19...
You like that feeling in your ear holes? That's the Ben Lamb and Bell podcast. Oi, stop gooning. The next bit's about to start.
Jeez, I really put my foot in it over the weekend, Ben and Bell. My wife was interstate for her hens, and I was helping her get ready in the morning. She was like furiously like packing her bag, and she actually dropped the coffee in the bathroom. And so like the glass smashed, and there was like coffee like splattered all up the walls, and I was like, oh God. So I was like trying to clean that up while she was getting ready. She didn't want to be late. Took her to the airport, all good. She said just before she left, like, let's just leave the bathroom window open just because of that coffee smell. I'm like, yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah.
So she's away for the weekend, and then yesterday I noticed there was something up with the bathroom. I forgot to put the window back down, and so when I picked Sarah up, I was like, yeah, I might have to check the cameras because I think there's like because I left the window up. I think there's like a cat or some sort of like possum or something got into the bathroom because there was all this like hair and like fluff in the sink. Like I think there was like a cat like curled up in there, or it might have been a. And she was like, "That was my epilator."
A cat or a possum?
I was like, oh yeah, or it could just be some fine feminine arm hair. I don't know. That's probably what it. I don't know. It could have been. Did I say cat? I didn't think it was a cat. Didn't think it was a possum. I think it might just be some light, princessy sort of peach fuzz.
Would have been a pretty quiet drive home from the airport.
Was a very quiet drive. Yes, it's going to be quiet dinner tonight as well if she's listening to the radio. That's for sure.
13 24 10. When did you put your foot in it? Give us a buzz. Jamie in Adelaide. Good evening. What happened?
Hello, I'm a nurse and I had this really lovely older lady patient, and she had a really young gentleman visitor. And after he left, I went up to her and I was like, oh, was that your son? And she goes, no, that was my husband. And before I could stop my mouth, I said, well, you've done really well for yourself.
Oh, that's kind of
Thankfully,
flattering.
she took it in good humour.
Is it flattering, or is it saying like, oh, I mean, you're a hag. How did you nail him? You know. Lauren joins us now in Melbourne. You put your foot in it recently.
Yes. Well, this was a couple of years ago, but I used to work at a grocery store, and this man came up and he had bottles of soft drink and chips and food, And he was really cheery. So I was like, oh, you're having a big party? How many people are coming? And then he just looked at me and said, oh, I'm actually hosting a wake.
Well, that's on him for looking cheery and happy about it, you know?
Maybe he was left a chunk of money in the will and he's clicking his heels and he's like, oh, you'll be seeing lots more of me. I'm just going to be coming into the servo and buying snacks all the time.
Thanks, Lauren.
It's the Liam, Ben and Bell podcast. Liam owes me $50 for saying that.
Now, I got back last week, but we went on some overseas holidays. Well, Liam and I did, Bell. You didn't go so much overseas.
Yeah, okay.
Liam, you went to a lot of places. Where did you go?
Oh, geez, just about everywhere. Went to Spain, went to Paris, UK, went to Finland, went to Norway, went to Czech, went to Belgium. Oh, yeah, very lucky. Biggest trip I've ever done.
Now, you didn't learn much while you were over there. We were doing our podcast yesterday, and we asked you about the Northern Lights.
I saw the Northern Lights.
Why are they green?
Wouldn't have a clue. Don't need to know what it is. Saw it. It's incredible. You know what I mean? You don't need to understand. Well, you go see a movie, you enjoy it. You don't need to know all the ins and outs and how they made it and what they shot it on and that sort of thing.
No, I mean, travel is beautiful and fun, but a big part of it is learning about the world and its culture.
Yep, that's right, Bill. It's supposed to expand your mind. And that's why tonight, Liam, we want to do a little test to see how expanded your mind has become.
I just expanded my belly, to be completely honest. I was just eating and drinking the whole time.
All right, Liam, question number one. Whilst on your travels, you went to Paris. The Eiffel Tower was built in 1887. But why was it constructed?
Well, they wanted to have the tallest tower in the world at the time. No, they did. I did the tour for that.
Answer according to Google is the Eiffel Tower was built as the entrance to the 1889 World's Fair.
Okay, well, my guy gave me obviously the wrong intel.
I feel like he gave you the easy answer.
It was the tallest at the time.
While in Paris, you also visited the Moulin Rouge. Why does the Moulin Rouge have a windmill on top of the building?
Probably because there's a lot of, back in the day, there was a lot of like drunks and stuff stumbling out in the street, vomiting, and I'm assuming it's just a waft there. And people used to throw their poo out the window and that, so probably just try and get it away from the dancers.
Do you know French?
Oh, it's Moulin Rouge means windmill.
Red mill in French.
Knew it. First answer was a joke.
You also went to Spain. While in Spain,
Español.
You went to Barcelona. You visited the World UNESCO Heritage Site, La Sagrada Familia, the Catholic Church. It was designed by architect
Anthony Gaudi.
Yes, correct. But how did he famously die?
He was hit by a tram.
Well, we got that one right. Well done.
Because can I say what I remember this because my tour guide he said, is it rude to do a Spanish voice?
You've done it so much.
Oh well.
He was like, the Gaudi, he was walking across the street and he was hit by a tram, but they thought he was a homeless, so they left him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I was like, hang on, what? Shouldn't you help anyone, regardless of who they are? And then many hours later, someone said, this is a Gaudi. And by the time they took him to the hospital, he had died. And I was like, well, maybe if those people just treated everyone with the same sort of respect as they should and give everyone medical attention no matter their appearance, Gaudi would still be alive and maybe he would have finished his works. He only did one side of the La Sagrada Familia.
I feel like Liam only learns if it's done in an accent.
Yes. If there's like
Well, I'm glad you learned one thing on your travels.
Oh, yeah. Soaked a lot up. You got any questions about Belgium or whatever, just fire away. I'm your guy.
I bet you can't keep a mewing streak for this whole podcast.
13 24 10. Give us a buzz and tell us about the birthday you'll never forget. Now, whether that's because of a bad thing or a good thing, we'd love to hear about it. We do have prizes up for grabs because this poor woman was giving like an eyewitness account on the news about a shooting that happened right near her, and the shooting actually happened on her birthday.
I'm so glad I didn't see them, really, because if I would have seen them and seen them putting that alight, they might have shot me too. You never know, and it was my birthday.
It was my birthday.
You don't want to get shot on your birthday of all days. I mean, being shot sucks, but if it was your birthday, it'd ruin the whole celebration.
13 24 10. Give us a buzz. We want to know about the birthday you'll never forget.
I'll never forget my 18th birthday because Ben rocked up.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, it doesn't make appearances often.
Not because, you became an adult or legal or anything. No, Ben was there.
No, it was good. Yeah, he came dressed as Eddie Murphy.
To be honest,
And now I should just clarify, he just had a suit on.
Just the red suit.
Just the red suit.
From Delirious.
So you're not going to find any pictures that are going to be on Daily Mail or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think, Ben, you've come to any of mine, but that's okay.
Yeah, there's always next year. Rayanne in Melbourne joins us now. What made your birthday a bad day?
So on my 18th birthday, my boyfriend at that time actually cheated on me. And the way that I found out was because he accidentally sent me an explicit video on Snapchat.
Oh.
As in of himself, but he wouldn't normally do that?
Correct. So I think he was maybe trying to send it to that girl, but instead he sent it to me.
And you're like, what is this?
Surely he could have played it off, unless it was like, this is for you, Rachel, or something like that.
Or very explicit. So I don't think he could hide that.
Happy birthday, Rayanne.
Yeah, cop that.
That's not a present.
Emma in Melbourne joins us now. Tell us about a birthday you'll never forget.
Hey guys, most recent birthday, so not too long ago, basically I was at a house party that was going into the night of my birthday. It was really fun and great night, really, partied all night. And then I stayed at a friend's house and had my car out the front, went in the morning to leave, super, super hungover, and I go out the front and my car, all the tyres had been taken off.
Oh.
Like it was just the rims, like obviously someone hadn't robbed anything in the car, but the rims of the tyres. So
Yeah, it's normally a good...
brutal.
It's a good sort of way of finding out how feral an area if someone's coming for your tyres, like, it's time to move.
Absolutely. Mandy in Melbourne, tell us about a birthday you'll never forget.
I spent my 40th birthday in at the hospital with my dad, spent 11 hours in there while he had a quadruple bypass. Not the 40th birthday I was expecting.
But he made it through and he's happy and healthy now.
He did, and I said to him that day that he's such an amazing man, he would never, ever pass on my birthday, so I knew we were pretty good.
Well, there you go. And you said quadruple bypass. That's a bypass for every decade you've been alive for. So it's all sort of serendipitous.
Exactly
I'm trying to find positives in what was obviously a pretty tough day.
And Mandy, now you can take him camping. I'm going to give you a $100 Camplify voucher.
Ah, awesome. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks, Mandy.
Steph in Sydney, good evening. Tell us about the birthday you'll never forget.
Hey, I had a triple whammy. It was my 21st birthday. It was on a Friday the 13th. I was at the bottle shop getting booze for the party that night, and then I dropped some of the alcohol bottles. And during that time it was happening, I got a fine from my car because I was parked in a loading zone.
Oh, that's just a bad day, I guess.
That stinks, yeah. You did park in that loading zone, I suppose. You do the crime, you do the time.
Absolutely, Steph. Thank you very much.
And that's it.
Like that podcast? There's heaps more to listen to if you just scroll back or download the Nova Player app.
Ben, Liam, and Bell.